All right. Peace to the God. What's going on? What's going on? Welcome to the Jonah Bey show, where we go in on law. Um, what will I be discussing today? I want to discuss what is lawful money. A lot of people don't know what it is, or they listen to other people tell them what lawful money is. But we're gonna find out what is lawful money from the actual Federal Reserve Bank and the government, right? So I'm up on the Federal Reserve government site, and it says, what is lawful money? How is it different from legal tender? It says, lawful money is a term used in the Federal Reserve Act that authorizes the Board of Governors of the Federal Reserve System to issue Federal Reserve notes. The act states that the Federal Reserve notes shall be obligations of the United States. What does that mean? Obligations of the United States. That means they need to pay for them. They should pay for them. They do pay for them. Now, they've been paying for them the whole time. Why have you been paying your own bills is the question. This is what we're going to go through on, and I'm going to show y'all what to do December 31st. But first, we got an up and coming webinar this coming weekend on doing an affidavit. You have to know how to do a proper affidavit as a real man in the republic so you can have redress to your government. You can, look, someone I know, talked to him today, he wrote a real affidavit to the sheriff, the police station, of what they did during a traffic stop, which was unlawful. They immediately said, they replied to him, and he sent it by fax. He didn't mail it to him. He sent it by fax machine. They replied, and they mailed it back, said they received it, and they said they would forward it to their risk management. That means risk management is already working on giving them money if they find that they violated the Constitution, as he said. You see what I'm saying? That's the difference. So easy. He didn't even have to do a claim of suit. When he did the real affidavit, it was automatically a claim of suit, which I've taught that lesson, how to do a claim of suit. It's more, you got to do way more steps than that. But anyway, you got to do a proper affidavit to be able to get things. You want things, what y'all call discharge. It's not discharge. The truth is, when you using Federal Reserve notes, you are discharging. You're never paying anything off. You're giving IOUs, which is a discharge. If you were giving them treasury notes, you would be buying stuff. You would have a allodial title. Actually, that is called savings to suitors clause, where you automatically, when you're using treasury notes, you automatically go back into a Republican form of government. You automatically go into a common law court. So 90% of your problems has been because you're operating with Federal Reserve notes. But let's keep on reading. And shall be receivable by national and member banks and Federal Reserve banks, and for all taxes, customs, and other public dues, they shall be redeemed in lawful money on demand at the Treasury Department of the United States in the city of Washington, District of Columbia, in the Federal Reserve Bank. Now, you know what's funny? That shit been around you a whole time. The act did not, however, define lawful money. But up until 1913, the only currency issued by the United States that was legally recognized as lawful money was various issues of demand notes. subsequently known as Old Demand Notes, United States notes authorized by Congress during the Civil War. See, they're taking it all the way back, like I said last week, back to stinking Lincoln. He's the one who put the law in effect and brought the Union back together. By using the Wars Power Act, he claimed that all the citizens was in the South was an enemy of the state. So when he brought the Union back and brought them in, it was under military rule and under the National Banking Emergency Act. He created that emergency act because the federal government had no money. It relied on the states to pay its taxes and send the money to Washington for the federal government to operate, and they weren't doing that. So they made a fiat currency because he had to, and then paid the soldiers to fight against the insurrection of the southern states. That's the truth. That's the history. So then let's go on in and finish reading. At the time, some currency was not considered legal tender, although it could be used by national banking associations as lawful money reserves. Thus, the term lawful money had a broader meaning than the term legal tender. In 1933, Congress changed the law so that the U.S. coins and currency, including Federal Reserve notes, regardless of when issued, constitutes legal tender. For all purposes, federal and state courts since have repeatedly held that Federal Reserve notes are also lawful money. And there's a case, it's called Malam versus U.S. I'm going to go over that case for y'all, probably later on this week or next week, whatever. And it was in 1974. It is typical of the federal and state court cases holding that Federal Reserve notes are lawful money. In the Milan United States Court of Appeals, in the Ninth Circuit review and judgment denying relief to an individual who sought to redeem $50 Federal Reserve bank note in lawful money. The United States tendered the man 50 in Federal Reserve notes, but Milan refused the notes, asserting that lawful money must be gold and silver. The Ninth Circuit noting that this matter had been put to rest by the U.S. Supreme Court nearly a century before in the legal tender class, Juilliard versus Greenman. And we're going to go back and read that case too. Rejected this assertion as frivolous and affirmed the judgment. Right? So those two cases break down how there's a private side to the Federal Reserve note. It's called the Treasury note. And then there's the public side, which y'all call the Federal Reserve note. And depending on your actions in commerce, depends on whether you're holding a Federal Reserve note or a Treasury note. Y'all been always acting on the Federal Reserve notes, and y'all have been Federal Reserve banks and Federal Reserve agents. And y'all don't even know it, but it's written inside the law. The law is 12 USC 412. This is why I keep on telling y'all got to know the laws. But y'all be like, I don't need to hear that. I don't need to know that. Y'all picking and choosing. This is why y'all ain't getting remedy, because y'all disobedient. You know what I mean? I'm here to show you by being obedient, you can get your remedy. And you can change your whole situation around. The question is, do you want it? That's the real question. All I know is I want it and I get it done. Get her done. Get her done. So, y'all got some things to work on learning how to be obedient. I got those cases pulled up right now. But I wanna talk about 12 USC 95. It's called Emergency limitations, and restrictions on businesses of members of the Federal Reserve System, aka you guys. Designation of a legal holiday for national banking associations, exceptions state defined. A. In order to provide a safer and more effective operation of a national banking system, the Federal Reserve System to preserve the people the full benefits of the currency provided for by Congress through the national banking system and the Federal Reserve System, and to relieve interstate commerce of the burdens of obstruction resulting from the receipt on an unsound, unsafe bias of deposits subject to withdrawal by check during such emergency period as the President of the United States by proclamation what may prescribe, no member bank of the Federal Reserve System shall transact any banking business except to such extent that the subject to such regulations, limitations, restrictions as may be prescribed by the Secretary of Treasury. And with the approval of President, any individual, partnership, corporation, association, or director, officer, employee thereof violating any of the provisions of this section shall be deemed guilty of a misdemeanor. Upon conviction, shall be fined not more than $10,000. If a natural person may be, in addition to such fine, be imprisoned for a term not exceeding 10 years. Each day that any such violation continues shall be deemed a separate offense. So, let's say y'all make a negotiable instrument and y'all write on that negotiable instrument the back of the social security number. You just violated this law. You can get locked up for that. You're violating the terms and conditions of being a part of the Federal Reserve System. You're strawman. That's not allowed. That's not the remedy that they gave y'all to do. B, in the event of a natural calamity, riot, insurrection, war, or other emergency conditions occurring in any state, whether caused by acts of nature or of a man, the comptroller of currency may designate by proclamation any day a legal holiday for a national banking association located in that state. In the event that the emergency conditions affect only part of the state, the comptroller of currency may designate the part so affected and may proclaim a legal holiday for a national banking associations located in that affected part. In the event that the state or a state official authorized by law designates any day as a legal holiday for ceremonial or emergency reasons for the state or any part thereof, that same day shall be a legal holiday for national banking associations or their offices located in that state. So that's what happened in 1933. We're still under the emergency. They took us off the gold and silver clause. Y'all have only been using what y'all call promissory notes, promise to pay, credit slips. Y'all have not been buying anything. Y'all have been discharging the whole time. That is what HJR 192 is talking about. Discharge dollar for dollar. That's what y'all been doing, discharging. Everyone else tells you, no, I'm going to write this instrument with the Social Security or the birth certificate or my UCC1 based on my UCC1 bond that I sent to the Secretary of State, and I'm going to get it discharged. That what you're trying to do, you're trying to buy things. You're trying to pay for things. You could only pay for things with lawful money. Remember, I told y'all what lawful money was. Lawful money is things, bonds, scripts, checks, anything that was made or created by the Treasury. Anything else would be Federal Reserve notes. So if you get checks from your bank or your job gives you a check because you worked, that's all within the Federal Reserve System. This is why y'all pay taxes, because that currency is called elastic currency. There have to be a way to draw it back, right? With that being said, I'm going to open up the call lines and see what's going on out there, what y'all got to say to me. We're going to discuss some of these things. All right, I'm going to caller 469-258. Peace to Yahoo. Ashe. No. Why you say that? No. They didn't close down no banks. They didn't close down no banks. People got foreclosed on for not paying their mortgage. No. What it was people went to them for a loan and got a fucked up scalable loan, which means the loan wasn't situated to stay at one rate. It could go up and down with interest. People still got those loans to this very goddamn day. What are you talking about? They got kicked out of their house because they weren't paying their fucking loans. The same way during COVID, people stopped paying their damn loans, and a lot of people are getting kicked out right now. That's not a banking holiday. You know what I mean? A banking holiday is in 1933. They closed all the banks. A banking holiday will be when they cross the money over. Well, when they cross the Federal Reserve System over into cryptocurrency, they're going to shut all the banks down to restart that system. That will be a new banking holiday. Sure, absolutely. Oh, you keep those three ingredients, 3 cups full of bleach, ammonia, and lemon juice, but you got to put the salt. So you were missing the salt. And normally, what people were doing, they were going to Naturals Omegas, my wife's natural health company, and they were buying the bath bomb. And the bath bomb was cleaning your aura, and it was also cleaning your aura. So when you go into court, they couldn't work magic on you. You take the bath, and then you put some frankincense and myrrh on your third eye and your crown chakra and your root chakra. So you would close the system and would put it on the soles of your feet. So no mental gymnastics with the magic could ever touch you in court. Yes, sir. No problem. All right. Now, let me say this. In 2008, they were really supposed to start Nasera Jacera at that time, and they brought the towers down to try to, you know what I mean, to put that halt to that. So that's what that was. Damn, y'all didn't like what the hell I said tonight? We ain't got that many callers. You know, in January 26th, 2025, they shutting down Blog Talk Radio. So y'all need to call in now while y'all can. And the call-in number is 516-418-5649. Once again, 516-418-5649. And the last time, 516-418-5649. 1-800-568-5649. Now, let me go on to the next caller. 254-338. Peace to Yahoo. Yep. You need to keep on studying and so you can remember that. But go ahead. Get it. Yeah, know it by heart, man. Know it by heart. Yes. Now, someone just tried to flag my video for what? I didn't cuss at no one. I ain't talking rude to no one. I ain't talking about no group of people and all that. That be those agents trying to stop it from me teaching on TikTok and all that. They always attacking, but it's all good. But yeah, keep up the good work, my brother. Now, all of y'all, make sure y'all go to blogtalkradio.com. Start downloading the shows before they're not available. We're working right now. I'm gonna download all the shows from Blog Talk. I'm gonna put it on my SoundCloud. So it's gonna be a whole bunch of downloads on SoundCloud, newer stuff. The last 3 to 5 years. You're always gonna have a trust, right? But you are gonna have to look. I'm going to show y'all how to do these things. It's coming on the 31st, so I'm not going to talk about it. It's just next month, 31st, New Year's Eve. It's going to be a webinar. But I think I got to talk to Shaka. I think we might do we're definitely doing a money ritual, but I think we're going to do it in person. I'm not sure. I really, I really didn't book the with me doing a remodel of the house. I really didn't have time to set up the Ritz Carlton and all that where we have the party at and the ritual at or none of that. And now it's too late, so it's all good. And besides, I'm concentrating on working. You know what I mean? And as y'all can see, yeah, my office is totally different than what it used to be. Hmm. Yeah, they do that. Hold on 1 second. I gotta let my cat in. What you mean? You don't have to do nothing. You already put it in. All you doing is your writ of discovery. That's where it was supposed to be. Everything is exactly the way it's supposed to be. You do nothing else. All right. All right, I'm going to the next call. I'm going to 478-302. Peace to Yahoo. 478-302. I guess they don't want to talk. I can hear you now. I say I appreciate the flowers now. All right, thank you. Appreciate that. You made me smile. All right, I'm going to next call. I'm going to 850-630. Peace to Yahoo. 850-630. They hung up. I guess they didn't want to talk no more. That's crazy. All right. I ain't got no more callers. I'm gonna look on the internet and see what else y'all got in the chats, what y'all asking. Jonah, why can't we leave comments on YouTube when the broadcast during the week? Thanks. No, I don't do that, bro. Ken, you got to understand. We left the comments on. That gives the haters and agents a chance to write on my videos, right? And when they write on the video, they're going to write something to discourage newbies from listening in. That's a no can do, right? Well, because if they have anything to say, call in now or write it now so I can address it. You don't let no one address you when you're not even there to defend yourself. All right. He said, yeah, I watched the show on YouTube channel and just was unable to leave a comment. I know, brother, but you leaving comments now. So whatever you want to say, just write it down and it'll be up there. And if you go to Blog Talk, you can write your comments up on Blog Talk and stuff like that. There's other places. So you're probably only using YouTube. Hey, Big J, when you gonna be down in Cali? So, well, number one, Cali ain't down, is it? That Cali's not down. Cali is west. So we can really rally the troops who are willing to learn how to break the chains of poverty and administrative bondage. Uh, Rocket Live, I've been to Cali. That's the last seminar I did was in Cali. I'm not coming back. I'm not Biggie. I'm not going back going back to Cali. Going back to Cali. I'm not going. I'm not hopping on a plane right now. You know what I mean? This ain't the time. Do you see the weather and the things that happen? Shit, at the beginning of the year, planes were going down. I'm not getting on no plane. I do webinars. I do workshops. If they want to get down, they tune into the webinar. I'm having one this weekend. Whoever your troops are, make sure they get on that webinar. You know what I mean? It's just like I'm there, except for we doing it via internet. Marlon, he mentioned to leave comments most of the time and usually catch the YouTube channel when people post shows. Yeah, dude, we said that. Uh-huh. I got a letter from the prosecutor of my state, and my injunctive relief was a list of incomprehensible statements. I'm gonna file a second round in the third parties. No, bro. I'm sure whoever answered your injunction, first of all, it tells me you didn't get the injunction webinar. You need to get the webinar so you could know what you're doing. All you did was just change the names, and you don't really understand the process. Number one, injunction is based on their constitution. They can't say they're not going to do it because they already took an oath to do it. That's number one. Number two, the people who write to you are people you didn't write to in the first place. So they want you to think that it didn't work. See, the person that you wrote will never write you and say they ain't accepting it, they ain't doing this, that, or that, because they would impeach themselves, open themselves up to a 241, 242 suit. They can't do that. So they get other people to write you that don't have nothing to do with it to try to do the Jedi mind trick on you. But if you would have listened to the actual webinar, I told y'all that in the webinar. So once again, you're not doing your proper study. You just grabbed a piece of paper and sent it in. You don't know what the process and details. First of all, you never send an injunction to anyone who's not a constitutional officer. Those are the ones that have to follow the constitution of that state, a constitutional officer. Go back and get the injunction webinar to learn. All right. Let's see what they talking about on FaceTime. Wow, they shut down my joint on FaceTime after 15 minutes. That's how they do me, y'all. That's how they do me. Someone said them damn newbies. All right, let me see what's going on the gram. A lot of people so new, they don't even know what to ask. Motherfucker put Mount Vernon ass Nilka. Peace, Noble. Peace. Yo, if y'all like what's going on tonight, the conversation, put those ones on all the social medias if you don't mind. He said post office said they don't have bank accounts to open. Bullshit, bro. You didn't listen. You never listen, Echelon Bay. You are one of the worst students ever, my nigga. I told you, you are one of those people that are slower than rest of the people. You're going to have to take your time and listen. You need to listen to each show at least 6 times to 9 times. I told you, Google, post office bank account. You're going to tell me it's not there. I mean, how dare you even fucking say that to me? You know what I mean? Obviously, if I said it's there, and I did it. All right? So, when you hit it up, it's called Postal Savings System. And it started on April 27, 1966. Now, they got switched to USPS FUC checking, no fees, plus a $75 bonus offer. And it's called the United States Postal Service Federal Credit Union. And you can open it online. I thought there was no post office accounts, man. Don't listen to them lying motherfuckers, man. You're supposed to go find out yourself. And then when you go step to them, you know what you're saying. You pull out the fucking website and show what the website said and said, y'all don't have that. But first of all, you were probably in a physical post office and you wasn't supposed to be there. You only heard part of the lesson. Damn shame. It's your birthday? Oh, shit. Go, boy. It's your birthday. We're going to party like it's your birthday. We're going to drink Bacardi like it's your birthday. No, we're going to drink Tito's like it's your birthday. And we don't give a fuck it's your birthday. Toast, man. We outside. I don't know. Today, y'all ain't really got no questions. Y'all vibing with the information. Someone said, "Whoa, what's wrong with these evils out here?" But I appreciate y'all putting this out. Much appreciated. How much for the 31 December 31 webinar? Don't know yet. Echelon, you're gonna find out. You're gonna be in the building. You're gonna be in Telegram and all that. You're gonna find out soon. First, we're gonna finish doing the actual webinar for the affidavit. Uh, all debates ended, and that's this weekend. We got to do that first because if you ain't on that, you're not gonna be able to do the December 31st webinar. You're not gonna be able. You're not gonna be prepared to write what you need to write to make that happen. Someone said, "Them damn newbies." Well, damn. All right, that's the people up on. And then let's see what TikTok is talking. TikTok, TikTok, TikTok. You ever think about what TikTok means? It normally means you running out of time. TikTok, TikTok, running out of time. They said a lot of stuff is popping up on YouTube. Hold on, let me. Oh, so now y'all got questions, YouTube. After I left, y'all want YouTube want to be out here wilding. How how long does status switching do not detainless take to be fully running? If you do, Jay Willis, if you do the injunction properly, uh, your do not detain status happens when you do the injunction, and it happens normally the first time you send out your first letter, but you still have to do the administrative process. Three strikes you're out type method. So if you ever have to go back and sue, you're ready for your lawsuit with that. 12 USC 95 was in the discharge injunction from ATL. Yes, it was, brother. Make sure that you have the right one. Marlon did it and it was instant. What about the tax exemption thing? First of all, Jay Willis, you're confusing things. We got about 3 or 4 things to get you off of taxes on various subjects. The latest one is the 1041 workshop. That'll get you from paying taxes on at your job. Pick up that webinar at jonahbey.com, the 1041 uh, workshop. Okay, thanks. I get it. No problem. He said, yo, wow, I def thought it would be take some weeks at least, if not some months, to go in effect. Nah, man. You got to understand, people have already promised to protect your rights. It's up to you to give them notice that you know you have those rights and you know how to operate on the republic side of the law. The operate on the republic side is to know the laws of the republic and to enforce the laws of the republic. Y'all been enforcing the laws of democracy, right? So it's a you problem. It's not a them problem. It's a you problem. But with that being said, that's our show for today. I'm hungry. Y'all don't want me to get too damn skinny, do you? Nigga gotta keep his weight up. You know what I mean? Gotta keep that muscle in. But with that being said, I enjoyed tonight. I hope y'all did too. I see y'all again Wednesday. We out of here.